Hey guys, welcome out to the range. Today I'm taking the MK18 out on the Overland course, and I thought I'd bring you guys along for a little bit of plinking fun. It is early March and it is already really hot out here, so here we go. Oh, and let me answer the question, because every time I have this chest rig out, people always ask. This is the First Spear Seeker SICR 6/12. Unfortunately, guys, this is no longer in production. My apologies. I wish I could send you to a website to get it, but it's no longer available. However, the Tier 1 Citizen 2-point slings are available. Here we go. This is a 100-yard shot, and I'm going to do it standing. Here we go. I added that one recently, coming up the hill just before you reach the two barriers. Let's see if I can get that lollipop from here. Sweet. All right, guys, the next ones are going to be 50, 100, 275, and 300. There's 50, and oh, you know what? I can't see the 100 from here. Well, forget that. So 275. Oh man, that's small. Wow. Okay, lucky shot. Now for the 300. I love it. And here's the 100. Up we go. There he is. Got him. Where's the other guy? I moved these recently, so I don't remember where he is exactly. There he is. The cool thing about this one is all you've got to do is move down a few feet along this lane, and now you've got a new vantage point on the guy. So you could actually have a student prone out here, or basically just say, "Contact left!" and they immediately have to look for it. That little guy right there is a booger, because he's less than 3 feet off the ground, so it simulates a man standing down in a foxhole looking at you. It's the same story with the one that I've got out there, way out in the distance, and I want people to have to work for it. With a course of fire like this, I should never see a person running their weapon empty. There should be no emergency reloads on a course of fire of this type, because you have so many opportunities to swap out mags. Man, I don't even know if I can see that target. Nah, gotta get closer. I know roughly where, well, I know roughly where it is. Wow, I actually hit it. Huh, there's so much foliage between us and that target. It's sitting at the base of a tree, about that far off the ground, with its legs deployed and a bunch of branches behind it, and it's tilted forward like this, and the branches behind it keep it from falling over. And it keeps the plate hanging on the screws so that the hits ring out. This is probably close to, well, yeah, close to 100 yards. So the hit has to be done slightly low with a 50-yard zero, or the aiming point is slightly low with a 50-yard zero. Solid hit. Let's move on. With a course of fire like this, what you end up with is you have to practice with knowing all the different variances that go with your zero. At a certain distance of away, there's a holdover. At a certain distance of proximity, there's a hold under. Like with the 50-yard zero, your 100-yard shot is actually going to be a hold under. Target out there at 300 yards. I've had guys actually hit it from here standing. It's really cool to watch too. I don't try it anymore because taking a 300-yard shot on someone freestanding is just wasting ammo. And you know, in the real world, I probably wouldn't. I don't know. Unless I absolutely had to, I wouldn't try to take that shot. Right now, we're roughly 20 yards or so from this guy, and I wouldn't particularly want to be hitting steel that close. I do, okay? I do hit steel this close, but for training purposes, I want you guys to understand, whenever you can, you want an oblique angle so you can give the bullet somewhere to go. So here, those bullets ended up at an angle at the feet of that target, as opposed to dumping all their energy straight on. The target is angled, and I'm hitting it like this. So the bullets are just glancing down, and they're dumping all their energy just in the glancing shot. But from here, I've got that. I've got that guy. Whew, I think I just blew a chunk off of that. Oh, my casings are going into the thickets. Dang it. And I've got one way down low that I can't see. Let's try to get that one on the hill. Lucky shot. My beef with 2-point slings, let me take a side trail real quick. My beef with 2-point slings has always been that at every phase of usage with a 2-point sling, you're always having to either take up slack or create slack to do a certain task. Like for example, whenever I take my shots, I shut the camera off and I pick up my casings. Why? Because casings are money, and two, I don't want them in the tires of my vehicle. But with the 2 points that I used to run, I was always having to set the rifle where I wanted it to be and then take up the slack. But with the 2-point Tier 1 Citizen slings that I make, I've got bungee sewn in them. So what I do is I finish firing and then I lower the gun to the side and I release it. And when I go to bend over and pick things up, the rifle doesn't end up swinging down and hitting the dirt. And if I want to go down and like spend a lot of time picking things up, then I take the stock and I push away from myself, and the weapon is stored to the rear. When I stored it, I didn't have to take up slack because the bungee did that for me. And when I need the weapon again, all I do is bring it around and I'm back on the gun. Come on. Here's another training tip for you. Whenever you've done a mag swap and you've taken your spare mag that was either empty or close to empty, I move it to the front pocket. I use my pants as what I refer to as field expedient dump pouches. And then what I do is I consolidate a magazine from my chest rig to my back pocket, because this is where emergency reloads or tack swaps are done more efficiently from, because they're not quite as deep as these pockets are. But you're always wanting to consolidate from the chest rig to where you can get to the mag easily. Loading from a chest rig requires gun coming up and you pulling a mag out like this. And of course your sling is going to end up in the way. And it doesn't matter whose sling you have, mine or anybody else's, you're going to end up with sling in the way when you're trying to get mags out. So whenever possible, tack swap, store, consolidate, rock on. Just like before, as you're moving, if you find stuff that you've already hit, but now you're seeing it from a different vantage point, hit it again. Did I actually hit that? I've got one way down there that is hiding in really tall grass. And I know there's one over here somewhere because I moved it not too long. There he is. Two central hits, good. I know you guys have heard me say this before, but if you've got puddles, you can use these as field expedient targets. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That guy always sneaks up on me. You would think, having been the one that plays that, you'd think I'd remember where it is. And I even know that it's roughly parallel to this guy, and yet he always gets up on me. How in the world am I missing that? There we go. Holding your breath that long wears you out. What's neat about a course of fire like this is that when you come out and you work your weapon and sling combination, if you're doing all the up and down that's required for the course of fire, you find yourself using the sling the way it's supposed to be used, and you stop thinking about using it and you just use it. And that's why a course of fire of this type is a big deal. And I try to come out to it whenever possible, either by myself or with friends, because it lets me practice all the skills that I know that I need should I have to actually reach for my rifle. And you know what? Great teaching point. Let me show you guys something. These are casings that have been sitting out here for a while. See the difference? See how this one's, the one on the far right is really shiny, and these two are tarnished. Well, these two guys right here, before you put them in your pocket, you want to find a stick or something, insert it in, and then turn it at an angle, and then drag out. There's a little bit of spider web on that one. Insert to the base, turn at an angle, and drag out. Because sometimes you'll end up pulling a spider out with you, and if you pick these up off the ground, slide them in your pocket, it could get really exciting when you get home and you find a little dime-sized well on your gluteus más o menos where a spider has gotten you. Hey guys, thanks for coming out to the range with me today. I'm mostly just dumping ammo through the Mark 18. Actually, let me rephrase that. Investing ammo through the Mark 18 to get it broken in. The more ammo you put through a gun, the more buttery smooth it becomes. Mostly because a lot of the oil that's on the BCG ends up slinging to the back of the buffer tube with a lot of carbon, and carbon is essentially microscopic little hard balls, which they act like bearing surfaces. So mostly what I do with rifles anymore is just dump oil in them, soften up carbon, break away any major chunks of carbon, but mostly I'm just dumping oil into the guns to keep them smooth. Anyways, yeah, thanks for coming out for a little bit of plinking and playing here on the range. As always, remember guys, Tier 1 Citizen is a viewer-supported channel. I appreciate your support. Please buy a sling. Please make a donation if you can. I will not go the corporate route if I can avoid it. As always, I thank you guys for watching. God bless you all. Get those guns out and practice. Have a good one.